and welcome to this episode of Kennedy Saves the World. Once again, we have to discuss plane etiquette. You might remember a couple months ago, I wrote an article for the Daily Mail about how it's fine to recline your seats. There are people who make such a big deal about people who recline their seats that they have now launched a cottage industry of seat stoppers or knee savers, where your seat plane seats don't go back that far. It's a non-argument. If you recline your seat, you're doing what the seat was intended to do. That's how it was designed. You are well within your right to do that. That is settled. Well, now we have a new issue on a plane that has divided people once again. And that is, should you give up your seat? If you have a window or an aisle, should you give up your seat and take a middle seat to accommodate a family that's traveling together? In some instances, if you want to be a good person and do that, particularly if the parent in question has very young children, toddler, preschool, young elementary school age kids, you are not obligated to do it, but it is something that you should do. So a woman recorded a TikTok video that has gone viral because a mom was sitting in her window seat with her two children who are not young children, 11 and 15. And so the mom didn't wait for the woman to come to their row. The mom was already sitting there and said, "Oh, hey, I've got a middle seat 2 rows back. You don't mind taking that, do you?" And she was like, "Yeah, actually, I do. I've got a massive presentation. I got about 2 hours of sleep, and I need to sleep on this 4-hour flight." So the mom was like, "Oh, I can't believe it. Someone is not going to switch with me." So she booked a middle seat and an aisle seat for her child and then another middle seat for herself. That was her bad planning. So either you pay whatever it takes to upgrade to Comfort Plus or Economy Plus, whatever the seating configuration is, where you pay a little bit more money and get a little bit more room. And yes, it can cost anywhere from $40 to $90 for the upgrade. I get it. But if seats are at a premium and you don't have a lot together, either talk to the gate agent beforehand, but never assume that someone is obligated to switch seats with you. I know it is very tough flying with kids. And I know as parents, we have to work extra, extra hard to keep kids well behaved on planes, because there are so many parents out there who are such a-holes as parents that they let their kids kick the seat and make noise and spill stuff everywhere, even if they're sitting next to that child. So that is a party foul, and those people have to be weeded out of flying. You should not fly if you cannot work to give everyone else a better flying experience by distracting your child. It is job number one. Job number two, and maybe the most critical role that a parent plays, is anticipating needs. And that's something you learn when you have a baby. You always got to be like two onesie changes and two diaper changes ahead, and know that that stuff is going to come up. Same thing on a plane. You always got to have the snacks. You got to have lollipops for the descent. You got to have all that stuff. But if your children are 11 and 15, they can sit by themselves. Probably a great lesson. If they need something, they can get up and go 2 rows back and be like, "Yo, mom." So a lot of people were saying, they were siding with the mom, like, how dare she? It's like, if you selected a window seat, you should not be expected to switch to a middle seat. Now, I did the same thing with my sexy teenage boyfriend. Was on crutches. He still is on crutches. And he has a foot and ankle injury that precludes him from being ambulatory. So he is on crutches and in a boot and can't put a lot of weight on it. It's been months and months now. So obviously we were flying first class. He was in a bulkhead seat. I was in row 3. Waited until the lady next to him was about to sit down. I said, "Hello, ma'am. Would you be interested in switching seats with me? I'm just 2 rows back and it's a window seat." And she said, "I can't. I've got to put my leg up." A gentleman comes on and he was sitting next to me, and I had taken my seat and my sexy teenage boyfriend had taken his seat. So the man comes up. He was like, "What's going on?" I said, "That's my sexy teenage boyfriend with crutches. Is there any way you will switch with him?" And he said, "I'm tall. I need the leg room." I said, "Understood. No problem. It's all good. I'll sleep during the flight. We'll high five when we land." This guy was so nice. He's like, no, he can totally switch. I'm like, no, it's okay. It's okay. It was not necessary. If you're going to do it, great. If not, don't worry about it. And he totally did it and chatted with the lady next to him the entire flight. I think they were both golden Americans. They were both well into their 60s. I think they had sex in the bathroom. They were that chatty. I'm pretty sure did sleep for a good portion of the flight, but I'm pretty sure they fornicated. I would like to think so. It's like, who's to say that our most cherished silver citizens shouldn't be getting it on when they meet each other? Why shouldn't they have anonymous sex on an airplane? I think we're being ageist if we assume that they can't or they shouldn't. I think they could, and I hope they did. That's all I'm saying. So that's number one. No one is obligated. So if you are traveling with kids, the onus is on you, not other people. You do not get to make someone's flying experience worse because you didn't take the time to plan in advance, or you don't have status, which is fine. A lot of people don't fly a lot. You can't expect that everyone's going to have status. Like, woo, yeah, status, baby. Oh, use that crutch on me, sexy teenage boyfriend. This has gone in a horrible direction. The point is, we do need plane etiquette. You need to respect people's space where they sit. If someone is a window seat person, never assume that they're going to sit in a middle seat. Number two, and this is something that has been bugging me recently, because if I get up and walk over someone in order to use the loo, I will use yoga jujitsu to make sure, because I'm a window person, that I am not stepping on body parts and I'm not waking someone up. I don't like making people get up to move so I can get in the aisle. I have perfected the art of the praying mantis and I will continue to do that. Do you know what I do? I gently put my hand on their seat as I'm moving over them, not the person in front of me. Do not pull on someone's seat if it is not yours. Do not do that when you're walking around a flight. I see people doing it all the time and they think it's okay. If someone's sleeping and you jerk their seat back, it wakes them up, or it's just uncomfortable and stupid. So learn how to balance, do some yoga jitsu, and that way you can finagle your way into the aisle. And then when you're in the aisle, don't use other people's seats as some sort of balancing polling device. And I understand it may be harder for some people to walk, but do not yank on people's seats. I know this drives you crazy, but it shouldn't have to be said out loud. People should know not to do that, but they of course lose all sense of time and reality when they get on an airplane. So just don't switch if you don't want to. If it makes you feel good, go ahead and switch. You're not obligated. Make sure the person that you switched with, if you're not in first class, up in the skies, popping champagne, living the life. If you are not in first, if you are in coach and someone switches with you, buy them alcohol or something. Buy them a snack box just to show your gratitude. A little bit goes a long way, baby. A little bit goes a long way. All right, now you're ready to fly. Now you're ready to save your next flight, because I, once again, have saved the world. This has been Kennedy Saves the World. I'm Kennedy. Listen ad-free with a Fox News Podcast Plus subscription on Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Prime members can listen to this show ad-free on the Amazon Music app.
Oh, go ahead and leave me a review while you're there. I'd love to hear what you have to say. You've been listening to Kennedy Saves the World on the Fox News Podcast Network.